you against God and Jesus Christ too? It freaks me out.
It freaks me out too. How I can be against God, who does not exist at all? To be for or to be against, one thing is absolutely necessary: the existence of God. There are fanatic theists in the world, and similarly fanatic atheists too. Those who believe that God exists, their fanaticism can be forgiven. But those who think God does not exist, their fanaticism is unforgivable. They should not bother about God at all. I don't bother a bit. But there is some human weakness. The weakness of categorizing. If you are not for, then you are against. And the mind functions in polarities. It does not allow the middle way. This is something significant to understand. That the mind can exist only at the extreme. Farther away you go from the middle point, more you become a mind. Closer you come to the middle point, your mind starts disappearing. When you are exactly at the middle, there is no mind at all. That's why Buddha called his path Mazhim Nikaya, the middle path. He had chosen really a very profound name, the middle path, avoiding both the extremes. But mind feels uneasy with any extreme. It is perfectly at ease. So if I say there is no God, you naturally start inferring that I am against God. But you have not thought of a simple thing, that if there is no God, how I can be against Him? The people who are for God may turn against. But you can depend on me. I cannot turn against, because to be against, I will have to invent God first. Friedrich Nietzsche says God is dead. I cannot even say that. He thinks he is saying something tremendously anti-God, anti-religion, anti-Christianity, anti-Christ. This is not so. To say that God is dead implies that He was there alive. You have accepted the existence of God. If not in the present, in the past. And it is going to be very difficult to prove how the existent God died. Nietzsche never argued further. And the theists are not capable of raising significant questions. The whole Western Christianity was shocked by the statement that God is dead. They were angry. They would have liked to kill Friedrich Nietzsche. But nobody asked him that you have accepted the primary existence of God. Now, you have to explain how He died. And if He was God, how can He die? And particularly to Nietzsche, because Nietzsche believes in the recurrence of life. Life continues. He is the only Western philosopher who believes in the Eastern idea of reincarnation. If God is dead, He must be born again. That is a simple corollary out of his own philosophy. If man dies and is born, then why be so unfavorable to God? At least give Him as much as you give to ordinary human beings, to animals, to birds, to all life. Either God has never been there or will always be there. Life can change its forms, but can never become death. That he accepted. And no Christian bothered him, raised the question, argued with him. I cannot say God is dead. I think Nietzsche is not really against God. He is against the priesthood, against Christianity particularly, against Jesus. But God is the foundation of all these. So he has to hit God to demolish the whole edifice of the only begotten Son, the Messiah, the Pope, the Church, and the whole ugly history of Christianity. Without God, it all becomes absurd. That's the reason he says God is dead. But deep down, he knows God is. My situation is totally different. I am not against God. I have been searching and seeking Him everywhere. And this is my finding, that He is not anywhere. I have looked in, I have looked out, I have done everything that is possible to be done. There is no God. This is a simple statement of fact, with no anger, with no enmity. What can I do if He does not exist? That is not my fault. But man's mind wants some extreme position. It is worth understanding. Why man's mind wants some extreme position? Either you have to be theist or atheist. Either you have to be for or against. It does not allow you a third alternative. The reason is simple. The third alternative becomes the death of the mind. Mind lives on extremism. That is its very nourishment. Exactly in the middle, where two polarities dissolve, contradictions meet, mind simply goes out of function. The mind cannot conceive how contradictions can meet, how polarities can be one, but in existence they are meeting, they are one. Have you seen life and death separate? It is your mind who makes the categories and words separate. But look into existence. It is life turning into death, death turning into life. There is no division. They are part of one whole. It is the mind who has created the idea of beauty and ugliness. But in existence, do you think if all human minds for a moment disappear from the earth, will there be beauty in anything? Ugliness in anything? Will the rose be still beautiful? No, as the mind is not there, there is nobody to judge. And beauty and ugliness are mental judgments. The rose will be there, just as the thorn will be there. But there will be no evaluation, because the evaluator is not there. They will both exist without any hierarchy. The rose will not be higher than the thorn. The flower of marigold will not be a poor flower and rose a rich flower. They will be on the same plane. All hierarchy is created by the mind. The lower, the higher, far and against. Think in another way. For a moment, let the mind be there, but drop judgment. Which is a little more difficult. You could have visualized a state where all minds have disappeared, and certainly you can see there is no possibility of anything being ugly, beautiful. Things will be there, just themselves, with no comparison, no judgment, no labeling. Now try the other, which is a little more difficult. Let the mind be there. All the minds are there, but nobody is judging for 1 hour. No judgment. Can beauty be there? Can ugliness be there? Can something be moral and something immoral? Can there be a sinner and a saint? For that 1 hour, all these categories will disappear. And you will have for the first time a real contact with reality. as it is, not as projected by you, manufactured by your mind. Your mind is continuously manufacturing reality. Otherwise, who is a saint and who is a sinner? Just now, I read news in England. A vicar has died of AIDS. Now, this is not right for saints to do, priests to do. And he has created a trouble. All the old ladies are phoning into inquiring about, because in Christianity, in Judaism and Islam, the vicar drinks the wine as the blood of Christ, and then from the same cup everybody else drinks, particularly the old ladies. Because who goes to these vicars? You think young girls? They have many other things to do. These old ladies have done everything and found nothing. Now they are trying God. Now the old ladies are worried that they may have contacted AIDS from the vicar. Now this is time that Christians and Jews and Mohammedans should stop this stupidity of passing the bread and the wine, because the saliva of the priest, the vicar, the cardinal, the rabbi, the imam may be carrying AIDS. Now, this is something about which the Polak Pope should declare that from now on, this is a sin. To drink the blood of Jesus, in fact, it was sin from the very beginning. Just an ugly idea, drinking the blood of Jesus, eating his flesh. But that was okay up to now, but now and the priest has to start the game. The Pope is involved into things which have nothing to do with him. This is now. I am giving him a problem which faces him, and if he has courage, then he should declare this practice immoral. Then all the popes up to now have been doing immoral things. Even Jesus was doing immoral things. AIDS may not be a new disease. It may be only a latest discovery. it may have been happening before, because it has no symptoms. It is a strange kind of disease without symptoms. To call it a disease is not right. It is really a slow death. Very slow death. So you cannot find symptoms. You can only watch a man's life if he is losing his resistance to diseases, then he has AIDS. This is a very complicated phenomenon. If he is losing resistance to other sicknesses, then he has AIDS. This is a long observation, can only be certain that you have AIDS. If you go on getting infections, and to cure any infection becomes more and more difficult, and slowly you find your life force falling lower and lower. For no particular reason, you start losing well-being. You cannot pinpoint that this is the reason why I am losing my well-being. Just suddenly you don't feel okay. Nothing is wrong. But your life is no more the same force. This kind of thing may have always existed, but to detect it was not possible before. Only now, and even now it is in a great confusion. But the confusion will clear out. Perhaps the cultures where kissing is thought to be unhygienic have a far more advanced idea, and these are primitive people. Perhaps the Brahmins in India, Jainas in India have a better idea. Now, in reference to AIDS, because this is not the practice that you should drink from the same cup. That is thought to be ugly. And to make it a religious thing is going too far. Sooner or later the Pope will have to be forced to prevent this practice. What I was saying was this, that it is so difficult to say who is a sinner and who is a saint. Now this vicar was a saint up to now. The fool should have chosen to die a little earlier, just 1 or 2 years earlier, and he would have remained a saint. But now, what is going to be the situation? It is proved that he was a homosexual. It is proved that he was not a celibate. It is proved that he was indulging into perverted kinds of sexualities. If he had died 2 years earlier, he would have been in heaven. Now, now ask Lord Jesus Christ, where goes his vicar? And with this vicar, many more soon will be discovered all around the earth. Because that is one of the most vulnerable thing about AIDS, that through saliva it can be given to anybody. Perhaps the French will prove the highest, the greatest because they have discovered great kisses and the French must have given AIDS to many more people than anybody else in the world. Now these French people should be stopped. It is a question of world health, life, future. These idiots should be told that stop all this nonsense. Find out some better ways of loving. There are. In some islands near Japan, lovers rub their noses. That's perfectly healthy and hygienic. And it gives you the same joy. What joy you are getting in kissing? You think you are gaining something? By rubbing noses, more clean, that seems to be far better. The Indian sex scripture, the first scripture in the world, Maharishi Vatsayana's Kama Sutras, it suggests all kinds of things which can become prevalent in the world. For example, lovers should play with each other's earlobes. That is perfectly hygienic. And earlobes are very erotic. Try to discover it. Just play with earlobes. It may look a little dry. It is dry cleaning. But at least you can avoid AIDS. Man's mind is easily ready for any extreme. Because extreme is its life force. When two extremes meet, they cancel each other. And they leave a vacuum. That's the meaning of the middle way. Let the extremes come to a point where they cancel each other. And suddenly you are left neither atheist nor theist. Those questions become irrelevant. But mind is not ready to drop either in religion, philosophy, even in science. Vivek just gave me a documentary film on the history of mathematics. The whole history of mathematics can be said the whole problem of human mind. For 2000 years or more in the West, and for 5 to 10,000 years in the East, mathematicians have been trying to find out the ultimate science. One thing is certain in their eyes, that only mathematics can become the ultimate science. For the simple reason that there are not mathematical things around you. It is a pure science. You don't see mathematical objects, that this is a mathematical chair and that is a mathematical house. Mathematics is just a pure ideological game. It consists of not things but of ideas. And because ideas are properties of your mind, you can refine them to their ultimate purity. So it has been an accepted thing that mathematics can become the purest science possible. but there have been problems. Those mathematicians were not aware that your mind itself is the problem, and the mind is going to create a science which will have no problems, no contradictions, no paradoxes. You can play the game, you can make a great edifice, but whenever you will look at the base, you will know that at the very base, the ultimate problem remains unsolved. For example, Euclid's geometry. I could not go much into it, for the simple reason because I could not agree with the basic hypotheses. My teacher of geometry simply told me that your problem has nothing to do with me. You find out Euclid. You get out of the class. You find out Euclid and settle things with him. I am a poor teacher. I just get my salary. I have nothing to do with his fundamental axioms. Whatever is written in the book, I teach. I am not interested at all whether his fundamental hypotheses are right or wrong. You get out. He won't allow me in the class. I said, but how can you go on teaching year after year, knowing that the basic points are absurd? He said, I never knew. It is you who are hammering them on my mind that they are absurd. I have never bothered. I am not a scientist, not a mathematician, just a poor teacher. And I never wanted to be a teacher, I wanted to be an inspector. But they didn't choose me. I tried other jobs everywhere, no vacancy. It is just out of compulsion that I am a teacher here and you don't torture me. Your problem is with Euclid. Don't bring me in. If you want to read what is written in the book, I am ready. But if you ask me that the fundamentals are wrong, I said, I cannot go unless I am certain about the base, because this is dangerous. The foundation of the house is missing, and you tell me to go on in a skyscraper. I cannot move a single inch. First, I have to be certain about the foundation, whether the foundation is there which can support this skyscraper. You are going to fall. That is your business. I am not going to fall with you. If you want to commit suicide, commit. He said, it's strange. With Euclid, nobody commits suicide. What are you talking? I said, I'm talking exactly what I said. It is suicide. Not a single hypothesis of Euclid is explainable. And still for 2000 years, Euclid has been the foundation, not only of geometry, but of all other sciences, because he has to be used in other sciences too. He says about the line, the definition, that it has only length. Only length. I asked my teacher, you draw a line which has only length. The moment you draw it, it will also have some breadth. Howsoever tiny. And the point has no length, no breadth. I said, you make a point which has no length and no breadth. And the same Euclid says that a line consists of points. One point after another point, point in a row. Line has only length. The point has no length, no breadth. Then how the line can have length? Because it has only points standing in a queue. From where the length appears. He just folded his hands to me and he said, you simply go from here. I have told that I am just a poor teacher and you are beyond me. I said, this is not the answer. You can simply accept that these axioms are not explainable. But mind has some difficulty to accept the idea that something is there which is not explainable. Mind has a very mad urge that everything should be explained. If not explained, then at least explained away. Anything that remains a puzzle, a paradox, goes on troubling your mind. The whole history of philosophy, religion, science, mathematics has the same root, the same mind, the same itch. You may scratch yourself differently, somebody else may do differently, but the itch has to be understood. The itch is that the existence is not a mystery. Only mind can feel at home if somehow existence is demystified. Religion has done it by creating God, Holy Ghost, the only begotten Son, different religions have created different things. These are their ways to cover up a hole which is uncoverable. Whatever you do, the hole is there. In fact, the more you cover it, the more emphatically it is there. Your very effort to cover it shows your fear that somebody is going to see the hole. It used to happen in my childhood every day because I loved to climb on the trees. Higher the tree, the greater the joy. And naturally I fell many times from the trees. I still carry on my legs and knees and everywhere scratches. Because I was continuously climbing the trees and falling, every day my clothes were torn, and my mother will say, "Don't go out with that hole in your clothes. Let me do a little patchwork." I said, no patchwork. She said, "But people will see that you are the son of the best cloth merchant in the town. And you are always roaming around the whole town with torn clothes and nobody takes care." I said, "If you patch it, then it becomes ugly. Right now, anybody can see it is fresh." I had not come out of the house with this hole. This is fresh. I have just fallen from a tree. But with your patchwork, this is an old thing that I have been hiding. Your patchwork will make me look poor. My torn shirt simply makes me look courageous. Don't be worried about it. And anybody telling to me, I can challenge that you can come with me on that tree. And if you can manage without falling, then only you have any right to say. And there are few trees in India which are very soft, easily breakable. One is a jamun tree. Jamun is a very sweet fruit. But the tree goes very high and is very weak. Its branches can anytime break. And unless you go higher, you don't get the best quality of fruits, because the lower ones have been taken by lower quality people already. those who could dare to go only up to 10 feet, if you have courage to go for 30 feet, then you will get the real juicy ones. They are preserved for those who have courage. But from there, fall is almost certain. You cannot do anything about it. It has nothing in your power. Just a little strong wind. You cannot get down so quickly. And the whole branch breaks away from the tree. And before you can do anything, you are already on the ground. But my mother could never understand my idea. I tried to explain to her that it is very simple. If you have not mended it, it simply means it is fresh. Just now something has happened. But mended, that certainly shows that it is not fresh. You have come from the home with the mended shirt. It is more outstanding then. And I don't want to be thought to be so poor. She said, I cannot understand what kind of mind you have got. Because everybody in the house, whenever somebody's shirt is torn or some buttons are missing, they come to me that first mend it, I am going out. And you are the only one, I have to come. And still you are not willing for mending. I said, no, not for mending. If you want to give me another shirt, that's okay. Mended shirt I am not going to wear. Unmended, I can wear it for the whole year. There is no problem because it is always fresh. I can always say I have just fallen from a tree. The whole history of mind in different branches has been doing this patchwork. Particularly in mathematics, because mathematics is purely a mind game. There are mathematicians who think it is not, just as there are theologians who think God is the reality. God is only an idea. And if horses have ideas, their God will be a horse. You can be absolutely certain it cannot be man. Because man has been so cruel with the horses. That man can only be conceived as a devil, not as God. But then every animal will have its own idea of God. Just as every human race has its own idea of God. Ideas are substitutes where life is mysterious and you find gaps which cannot be filled by reality. You fill those gaps by ideas. And at least you start feeling satisfied that life is understood. Have you ever thought about this word understand? It means standing under you. It's strange that this word has by and by taken the meaning which is far-fetched from the original idea. Anything that you can make stand under you, that is under your thumb, under your power, under your shoe. You are the master. People have been trying to understand life in that same way, that they should put life also underneath their feet and declare that we are the masters. Now there is nothing which is not understood by us. But it is not possible. Whatever you do, life is a mystery and is going to remain a mystery. Even if you, man, someday comes to understand the whole of life, a new problem will arise. That who is this man? The mind, the consciousness, which has understood everything. From where it comes? In that documentary film, one thing will be helpful to you. One of the mathematicians in this beginning part of the century, a very famous mathematician, one of the greatest in the whole history of mathematics, Frege, was doing the same work. His whole life he had devoted to create a mathematical system which dissolves all paradoxes, all mysteries, all puzzles, and solves everything, the ultimate solution. And he was just going to publish it. It is published, and it is a tremendous task that he has done. But Bertrand Russell, a young man at that time, and not very famous, just a little bit known as a philosopher in philosophical circles, he was also interested in mathematics, and later on he wrote one of the monumental books on mathematics, Principia Mathematica. In which 351 pages are devoted only to a simple problem: 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. The book is just impossible. Just to go on trying to read it is enough to drive anybody crazy. Even Bertrand Russell accepted later on that after writing that book, I have never been so sharp again. My whole sharpness got lost. Certainly he has put too much energy in it. And a strange kind of energy. Nobody reads that book. I have been touring in India, visiting all the universities, great libraries, and I had few things which I always took note of. One was to look at the book Principia Mathematica of Bertrand Russell, whether anybody has read it or not. Its pages are not even cut. Many pages are still joined. In old days, particularly the very famous publishers used it. I don't know why, that they never cut the pages. They left them joined. It is a very later development, just within 30-40 years, that all the publishers have started cutting the pages. But I think one thing was good about it, not cutting the pages. You could always know whether the book has ever been read or not. And I have never seen in any university of India, in any library of India, the book's pages cut. Who is going to read 351 pages just to find the conclusion that one is really one plus one makes two? It is really so. Who is going to read 351 pages of a large size book? And then it goes on for thousands of pages. So Bertrand Russell was interested in mathematics, knowing that Frege is going to publish a book which is going to solve all paradoxes, mysteries, mathematical problems. He sent a paradox to this great mathematician who was trying to solve all great mysteries, a simple paradox. Frege was devastated. He felt all enthusiasm gone. The books were ready, 2 volumes, his whole life work. And this man sends a small letter with a small paradox and says, before you publish your book, please think about this paradox. That paradox has become famous as Bertrand Russell's paradox. It is very simple. And Frege had no answer for it. He did not publish his books in his life. They were published after his death. They are monumental. But he has failed in the purpose of solving all paradox. He could not solve a single paradox that Russell had sent him. The paradox is very simple. All the libraries in the country are ordered to make a catalogue of all the books in the library and send the catalogue to the National Library. One librarian made the whole catalogue, and as he was going to pack and send the catalogue to the National Library, a question arose in his mind that should I include this catalogue also inside or not, because this too is a book in the library. And the order is clear that all the books in the library should be catalogued. Now what I am to do about this catalogue? This is a book in the library. But to include it seems to be right according to the order. This problem must have arisen into many librarians' minds. What happened? Two types of catalogues arrived in the National Library. The librarian made two piles. One which included the catalogue also in it, and one pile which did not include the catalogue in it. And the librarian was ordered to make a catalogue of all the catalogues that don't include the catalogue in themselves. So he made a catalogue of all those catalogues which do not include the catalogue in themselves. But when he was finishing, he was puzzled what to do about his own catalogue. If he does not include it, then one catalogue which does not include itself is left out of his catalogue. If he includes it, then this is not the catalogue of only those catalogues which do not include itself. So Russell sent this simple paradox that what this librarian is supposed to do. Before you go on solving other bigger problems, you please solve this problem. This librarian is in a difficulty. Now, whatever you do is wrong. If you don't include then one catalog is out of your catalog. All catalogs are not included in. If you include it, then this is not the catalog. Of only those which do not include. You follow me? But I don't see any problem. Frege was finished. Russell also has no answer for it. And every science, every philosophy, every religion comes to the same point somewhere or other, where something becomes either you have to accept it unquestioningly, blindly. That's what religion calls faith, belief. It is a patchwork. By asking you to believe in it, to have faith in it, means you don't try to take away the patch, because there is a hole, abysmal, bottomless. Cover it. But by covering it, it is not dissolved. Nothing is solved, nothing is helped by covering it, except that you remain blind. So why cover it? Just close your eyes. And that's why all followers are blind followers. Because if they have eyes, then there is going to be trouble. Then they are going to find places which are unsolved, questions which are unresolved. Why God has been created? Just to solve an unresolved question. Who created the universe? From that question, all the religions take plunge into some hypothesis. God created the world. But the question is exactly the same as Bertrand Russell's paradox. It is nothing different. Just that is mathematics, this is religion, but the problem is the same. The axiom is that anything that exists has to be created by somebody. How it can come into existence by itself? This is the problem. Everything that is has been created. Otherwise, how it can come in the first place? So they bring God to help you solve the problem, who created the universe. But what you are going to do with God? Does God exist? If He exists, then who created Him? If He does not exist, then how He can create the universe, who Himself does not exist? How He can create existence? If he exists, then what about your basic maxim that anything that exists needs a creator? No, about God don't ask that. That's what all the religions say. About God don't ask that. But this is strange. Why? If the question is valid about existence, why it becomes invalid about God? And once you ask about God, who created God, then you are falling into an regress absurdum. Then you can go on, God 1, God 2, God 3, and you go on numbering them, but finally the question will be the same. After thousands of gods, you will find the question stands as clean, clear, untouched. Not even a dent has been made in the question by all your answers. Who created the existence? It is the same question. To me, existence is a mystery. There is no need for it to stand under our feet. There is no need that it has to be understood. Live it, love it, enjoy it, be it. Why are you trying to understand it? I am not against God. I am only against a stupid hypothesis which leads nowhere. And you ask me, am I against Jesus Christ too? Why should I be against that poor fellow? I feel sorry for him, sad for him. I don't think that he deserved to be crucified. Yes, he was a bit crazy. I cannot deny that. But anybody who is a little bit crazy does not mean that he needs crucifixion. And crucifixion is not a cure for craziness. In fact, crucifying Jesus, you have created Christianity. You have driven so many people crazy. It is crucifixion which is responsible for all this nonsense that has been going on for 2000 years and is still continuing. In Germany, in a school, two of our sannyasis who are teachers in that school have been told that they cannot come in orange clothes and with the mala. And they have been coming for 2 years. They ask what happened, because we have been coming with the mala and with our orange clothes, and it has not disturbed our teaching. Has there been any complaint? Is our teaching in any way affected by it? Have we tried to convince anybody of our religion or of our ideas? They said that's not the question. These are religious symbols, and we don't want anybody to have religious symbols here. Those teachers asked, then many people are having crosses. Their crosses should be taken away. And you will be surprised. What was the answer from the committee? That cross is not a religious symbol. It is just a piece of jewelry. So they wrote a letter to me that what to do now. They say it is a piece of jewelry. So I advised them that go to the court and take your chairman into the court and let him prove that cross is a piece of jewelry and it has no relationship with Christianity, with Jesus Christ. Then inquire that why only Christians use this piece of jewelry. Then ask that why this cross is there in every church. A piece of jewelry, what piece of jewelry is doing in the church? Why it is on top of every church? A piece of jewelry. And what this piece of jewelry is doing on every graveyard, on every grave. And that only to the Christians, their churches, their graves. No Hindu uses the piece of jewelry, a strange piece of jewelry. So take him to the court and let him prove that this is a piece of jewelry. And it has no religious significance. Let him say that. Then he will be condemned by Christians themselves. And if cross is allowed, then you cannot prevent my people having their mala and their clothes. It is crucifixion which made Christ, without his knowledge, the founder of Christianity. I am not against that poor guy. In fact, he deserved a little better treatment. If we can find him somewhere, there is no need to crucify him. He needs few therapies to put him right, to put him together, a little deprogramming that you are not the Son of God. This idea that this is what making you look unnecessarily a clown. It does not prove that you are a Messiah, it simply proves you are nuts. And we have put many nuts together, they were falling apart. Just few people's nuts gets loose, few people's bolts get tight. You have just to fix them a little bit. Jesus was nothing dangerous. He was a nice fellow. But just to be nice is no protection against getting crazy. He was nice and gullible. He heard this idea continuously proclaimed that the Messiah is going to come, who will save the whole humanity. And it got into his head. He had a swollen head. Just a little bit of treatment here, and he would have been perfectly a good sannyasi. I'm not against him. I feel for him. This was too much to put him on the cross. He has not committed any crime. And freedom of speech allows it. Anybody can say, I am the Son of God, and I don't think it harms anybody or takes anybody else's right. You can say you are also a Son of God. There is no problem in it. Why they made so much fuss about him? There was no need at all. All that he needed was ignored. If nobody has taken note of him, he would have come to his senses by himself without any therapy. But because people started taking note of him, and people started getting angry at him, he became more and more obsessed with the idea. It is a natural conclusion that if people are annoyed, irritated, then there must be something in it. Otherwise, why? Why they should bother? If I was just a madman, they would have laughed and gone home. But the whole Judaism, all the rabbis are disturbed. That is enough proof for Jesus that whatever he is saying must have some significance. Those old fools, those rabbis, they destroyed that young man by giving him importance, attention. They spoiled him. In fact, they needed to be punished, and he was punished. I feel sorry for him. I am not against him. I am all for his treatment, cure, and a long, healthy life. And you say you are freaking out. I should be freaking out, or you should be freaking out? I have been explaining to you continuously that I want existence to be accepted as a mystery. Because only as a mystery it is beautiful, livable, lovable, blissful, ecstatic. It is good that it cannot be demystified. There is no way to demystify it. And I am the last person to demystify anything. My purpose is just the opposite. That's what I have been doing my whole life. Mystifying everything. It is not a difficult job because people have forced demystifications on things. I simply remove the cover, the patchwork, and I give you the raw life as it is. There is no answer anywhere which is ultimate, and there will never be any answer which will solve all the problems. Hence, God is an impossibility, because God means the ultimate answer. And it is good that there is no God. Otherwise, we were condemned. Then there was no possibility of any joy, freedom, exploration, ecstasy, no possibility for anything. God would have killed everything. So I say to you, even if God was there, then I would have trained you how to kill him. But fortunately, he is not there. So we are saved from being in any way violent. Otherwise, that one violence I would have allowed. even though I am for vegetarianism. But if God was there, I would have told you, finish him. Because with him, life is impossible. You have not thought about the implications. Only without God you are free. Then your inner being has freedom. Then your essence has all possible potentialities to grow. And nobody to dominate, nobody to dictate, nobody to manipulate. You are not responsible to anybody except to yourself. Nobody can question you why you did this. Nobody can punish you or reward you. There is no way of somehow managing you into a certain way of life, because there is no God. And because there is no God, how there can be a Messiah and the Son of God? That's why I call Jesus nuts. It is just out of love and compassion I call him nuts. But I am not against him. If I was there, I would have told to the Jews and Pontius Pilate that what are you doing? You are creating a religion of nuts. By crucifying this man, you are committing a crime against whole humanity for centuries to come. You just leave him. Let him talk. What harm it is? It is just pure entertainment. People enjoy and they gather and they listen to him. And no harm in it. And he is not saying anything against the scriptures. Let him be free so that no religion is created. He was incapable of creating Christianity. You can see that perfectly well. All that he could manage were 12 uneducated dodos. They have become his apostles. But in this world, it is very difficult to find that who is the greatest dodo. Very difficult. Those dodos were great, but there are even greater dodos. Ronald Reagan. Now, in his speech on budget, he is quoting those dodos from Bible. Those illiterate, uneducated fishermen and farmers and woodcutters, what do they know about America and the budget? They may never have heard even the word budget, economics, planning, and he is quoting them. That's why I say it is very difficult to say who is the last dodo. There are dodos and dodos. Jesus would have been impossible in any way to be able to create Christianity. He had no organizational power. He has no capacity to influence the cream of the society. How he was going to create a religion? But crucifixion did everything. In this world, things function in a very strange way. Once he was crucified, thousands of people felt sympathy for him who had never bothered about him. The same people who would not have even gone to listen to him if he had gone on their way felt sympathy for him. And it is natural. Even Jews felt that this is too much. The man was innocent, maybe talking in an outrageous way. But it was only talk, hot air, nothing much in it. There was no need to crucify that fellow. It created a great wave of sympathy. Such a sympathy is natural phenomenon. And those 12 dodos, for the first time found people who had never listened to their master are listening to them. And slowly, slowly, people started gathering. They made the Bible. They created the church. And they started stories, miracles, which are easier when the person is gone. And in those days, these things were just rumors. And a rumor from one mouth to another ear has a tendency to become bigger. Because everybody wants to add something to it, some spice to it. In 300 years' time, Jesus was 1,000 times bigger than he ever was. No, he was a myth. The real person was just an ordinary carpenter's son, talking just off the wall. But in 300 years' time, people's imagination did the whole work. And then, these 2000 years, scholars, professors, theologians, philosophers, they are all going to increase as much as they can and bring out of Jesus meanings, words, philosophies, ideologies, which that poor fellow was never aware of. I am not against God or against Jesus Christ or against anyone, but I am for the truth. If it goes against anybody, I am helpless.